Just when you thought the legacy media was tired of losing millions of dollars due to major legal mistakes, ABC News decided to step their toe right back in the wake of CBS losing so much. Today we'll tell you what went down with George Stephanopoulos and why Disney is all frowns with another legal crisis.
Take a listen to ABC News' George Stephanopoulos.
All right, take a look at this out of PJ Media by Matt Margolis. Is George Snuffleupagus setting ABC up for another Trump lawsuit? Now, it's not snuffy, okay? Big Bird, I want to apologize. It is not snuffy. This guy is more visible, actually. Let's take a look at what has happened, and then I'm going to play some stuff from Megyn Kelly to give you some idea of just what kind of hot water Disney is facing right now. It says it's been just 2 days since severe flooding hit parts of Texas, and of course the left is out in full force trying to blame the tragedy on the Trumpster. Now, I'm not into the political side of this, okay? So we're going to stop the paragraph. For those of you who say, pro's political, I'm just discarding the first paragraph. Set it aside. We care about the Disney part of this. Second paragraph, here we go. Right on cue, ABC's George Stephanopoulos, folks, pushed the narrative on Sunday's edition of This Week with claims that staffing shortfalls in the region's weather offices may have played a role in the delayed response. Quote, we're also learning that there were significant staffing shortfalls to the National Weather Service's offices in the region, he told ABC News correspondent Mireya Villarreal. Villarreal didn't seem to want to go there. You know, George, as of right now, the local, you know what, let's just play it. I don't need to read it to you.
Yeah, it's hilarious how she tries to walk away without dissing the boss.
Right, because he's going to get Disney into a major loss. She doesn't want to be associated with it. Here's the clip.
Maria, we're also learning that there were significant staffing shortfalls at the National Weather Service's offices in the region.
You know, George, as of right now, the local county officials really didn't want to address that just yet. What they are telling us is they expected between 4 and 6 inches of rain. That is what weather experts told them, the National Weather Service as well. They also knew that in remote locations, they might get anywhere from 8 to 10 inches. But this amount of rain in such a short amount of time, it was very difficult to navigate. And when the Department of...
All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. What you need to know is that Stephanopoulos is way over his skis. Chris Marks says this is bullcrapola. NOAA's National Weather Service office in Austin, San Antonio issued a flood watch over 12 hours before the flood and a flash flood warning 3 hours in advance. It says, find a new job. Your political analysis skills suck. Okay, and there's the proof. There's the receipt. It looks like George Stephanopoulos is trying to turn yet again a tragedy, and this is it's a real tragedy, a horrific thing. People passed away. Young people passed away. So turning that into a political opportunity to gain a point or two just sucks, okay? Especially when the receipts are in. I'll read this next paragraph too, but that didn't stop Stephanopoulos talking about, shall we say, misusing the moment. From parroting the lie over and over again on national television until ABC was forced to settle the defamation lawsuit for a staggering $15 million. Excuse me. This paragraph's talking about the last time Stephanopoulos misused the moment. Ha-ha! See what I did there? Now here we are again, and the question has to be asked. Is George Stephanopoulos trying to get sued a second time? After costing his network millions once for lying about Trump, you'd think he'd finally learn to tell the truth. Apparently not. Okay? Now, we're going to bring in the panel at this point. I want to go to you all and just find out what you have to say about this. We're going to get Megyn Kelly. She's not on the panel, folks. We've got the clip from Megyn. Don't get that excited.
I was hoping she'd be here.
Well, I want Lauren, because Lauren always has the expertise that I need, not Megyn, or as she says it, Megan. But could you tell the difference there? There's a slight syllable change. No, it's anyway, here's the deal. This is yet again a time when ABC News has just watched CBS News cruise off a cliff, and ABC didn't learn a single thing from it. So, Lauren, I think it's detestable to take a tragedy like this and present falsehoods. Like, if somebody makes a big mistake and tragedy occurs because of it, we all get that you have to hold people to blame, right? We did that with California with the wildfires. But you got to get some semblance of the truth to do that. And if you don't, you better hold back. What say you?
It is a tragedy.
And whenever you're dealing with a natural disaster or something that is weather related like this is, it's really hard to know how you can hold somebody accountable. They are forecasters, but they are not psychics, and you can have an idea of what you think is going to happen, but there's never a certainty. And flash floods happen in Texas. It is a tragedy. But even with the best data available, there's no guarantee that what you're going to forecast is what's going to happen. And I don't think that would necessarily be affected by staffing issues anyway. You're looking at the same data. So I think that we run into trouble when we start holding people in these kind of positions as being the village shamans, and if they get it wrong, we cast them into the volcano to appease the gods.
Only if it's on one side of the political aisle, Lauren, and that's the problem. This is what's going to get ABC News in more trouble again.
Yeah, I think that
we need to hold news people to a higher standard. I mean, I don't know if you saw the story. There was some woman, a physician, who has now lost her job because she posted something that said, well, a lot of those people voted for Trump, so I guess they deserved it. I mean, those kinds of sick idiots. But we are supposed to hold the people who have the public airwaves to a higher standard. And George has a history of not doing that, not holding to a higher standard.
This is the problem. This is, what Disney has done is they've put a political partisan, he's an activist, right? I mean, George Stephanopoulos, he worked hand in hand with the Clintons. And I don't have a problem with that. But when you try to take somebody who is active as a partisan and you place them in charge of the news, you're going to lose if you're looking for objectivity. And okay, take it in today's time, right? Let's say that in 1 year, Miss Leavitt, the current press secretary, steps down from the Trump administration. If you said to me, do you think she would be a great lead anchor for 60 Minutes? I'd say no, of course not, because she clearly has a politically active angle she wants to take, and you're trying at least to present the appearance of non-biased news reporting, and that would not work. Vash, get in here.
That's the thing, right? It's at least the appearance. Everybody has their biases. Everybody, we try to be as objective as possible. Every single person, whether they be in mainstream media, new media, whatever, they have their biases. And the difference, I think that the standard, I think what Lou was talking about, that we hold these kind of mainstream media pundits to, or these anchors, is to be as objective as possible and try at least not to have that bias seep out, especially in a way that damages the network, that damages the brand, that damages, well, in this case, Disney. And unfortunately, George Stephanopoulos has been unable to do that for a very long time. And honestly, ABC News has been unable to do that. I'm reminded of, the debate performance between, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump back in 2024, and how that was very much botched. And there was a lot of allegations of impropriety there from Dana Walden. We covered that very extensively. Then you had the whole George Stephanopoulos issue #1 with the whole lawsuit. And now this. It's just, if you can't remain objective to the degree that the reputation is not damaged for Disney or for ABC News, should you necessarily be there?
Well, it's just amazing, so. Vash, because listen, CBS News just got the settlement, and they're already screeching and so much misinformation. Disney is currently, people forget this, Disney is currently under FCC inquiry about issues that they're having that could challenge their network status. And here they go again. It blows my mind that they do this, but they do it time after time. All right, I want to talk about now, let's go to Megyn Kelly, because Megyn Kelly, who is maybe the leading, if not the leading, one of the leading voices in the new media. She's getting, something like 90 to 100 million views on YouTube every single month. She's beating MSNBC and CNN on her own, just her own program. Here's what Megyn Kelly had to say about the situation with ABC News, with Disney. Here we go.
Some in the media, absolute ghouls all over the internet, trying to blame the president and Doge for the tragedy, claiming cuts by Doge to the National Weather Service are to blame, that they left the agency unprepared. there's a long list of disgusting political ghouls who are doing this. They're insane. These are insane people. They're literally saying that these people deserved it, that these sweet little 8-year-old girls, that the 11 and 13-year-old girls with their arms around each other, that they deserved it.
Now, Lou, this is what you were talking about, the disgusting nature
Yeah.
of wishing ill against others. In this case, wishing for the loss of life, or celebrating it, which is, as Megan says, it's ghoulish. I mean, that is demonic.
Absolutely. Absolutely, she's right. And you know, if the point is, if Disney cared, they would say, George, we love you, but any story that has the word Trump in it, you don't do anymore.
Right. You can't handle it. You can't handle the Trump. See what I did there?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, but the issue, though, is that even if it doesn't involve Trump directly, George will find a way. That's the issue right there. Even if you have him on maybe benign stories or other tragedies or whatever, there's still a chance that he do something like this. It's just, it's not a good look.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep playing, because I want to get what Megan has to say about George Stephanopoulos, who, again, remember, folks, is on the dole from Disney.
Because it's a Republican state, and they must have voted for Trump and Elon, so suck it. It's absolutely disgusting. Again, there's a long list. We're going to go over it, but take a listen to ABC News's George Stephanopoulos, fresh off of settling a $16 million defamation lawsuit for lies he told over and over and over. He's an on-camera paid liar, still finding ways to lie about Donald Trump, who he says is to blame for everything.
Yeah, we're also learning that there were significant.
All right. Now, we've already played this clip. We don't have to play it again. But I do want to get your thoughts on what Megyn Kelly is saying here. She is going after them in a way that I think they deserve, but that you would never, ever hear on the legacy news. You're not going to hear that on Fox News. You're not going to hear that anywhere else except right here on the YouTube and the other sites out there that operate in the same kind of manner.
And can I point out a little teeny weeny difference between ABC and Megyn Kelly and the rest of us?
Well, sure you can.
They have a license from the government to use the airwaves, and they have an obligation with that license to tell the truth. Period.
Yes. So that's how they get in trouble.
And what the FCC giveth, the FCC can taketh away.
Yes, and that's why this lands into our purview. Okay, so this would be, I mean, it's a tragic story. It's also veering into politics. But what puts it into our lane, which is entertainment, is that the Walt Disney Company continues to allow insane people to risk their network status, to risk having major fines levied against them yet again from ABC News, because, as you said, Lou, and you're absolutely correct, they have a standard which they must meet. It's a very low bar standard, which is just don't make up nonsense. Just don't lie and distribute false mistruths that are easily disproven. You know, complete and utter inobjective falsities.
But look at how it ripples through the network. If you're the ABC affiliate in Podunk, this affects you, because if you haven't got credibility for that news coverage, why should the local sponsors sponsor you? Why should your local people listen to you? Those people are helpless to control this network's credibility gap. And at some point, they might just say, maybe the value we get out of being part of ABC is not worth it.
Lauren, I want to give you the final word on this. And what I find fascinating is I'm always wondering, does the average man and the average woman out there, do they connect ABC News to Disney? And does it do damage to Disney, do you think, broadly? Or is this sort of a siloed issue where everybody just thinks, well, that's George Stephanopoulos, that's what he does? Or do you think this has finally reached that pitch where people say, you know, I wish Disney wasn't associated with The View and George Stephanopoulos, and, you know, they can have political positions, but stop the insanity?
It's hard for me to say. I don't think most people really connect the news outlets with their corporate overlords. I think that there is a sense that people know that all of these big mega corporations are interconnected with each other and that they have vast holdings that people probably aren't aware of.
Lauren, let me jump in real quick. Let me jump in real quick and say you're exactly right. I bet 99% of people out there don't know that CNN is associated with Warner Brothers, or at least it was until it's being spun off. So I wonder, are Disney and ABC News, do they function in that way where the average person doesn't know?
I think they probably don't. The only time that they might think about it is when you're doing something like a Good Morning America promo for a movie that might be coming out, and then you might have talent or even Bob Iger appear on the network, and some people may tilt to that. But I also think that you have the people that are watching these networks who are not hate watching, that are actually followers of the network. They're going to nod along because it's the source of truth that they believe in. And those people that don't believe it and mock it, like us, are going to say, well, that's just George Stephanopoulos. So I think, in a way, all things are true in the scenario that you outlined. I do think the distrust of the corporate media right now has been exposed to a broad degree to the public. So while they may not know how the interconnections happen or what the different corporate levels and subsidiaries and all of that stuff are, there is a general awareness in the public now that we should probably be skeptical of everything. And I think that's probably a good thing, because the news media has sullied their reputation. They've lost a lot of trust.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll leave it there for now.
I will only add that
Please.
awareness is growing. And it grew enormously when the whole question of bundling and ESPN and all of that happened. People said, I didn't know that was part of those people.
Well, okay. So, all right. Now you've messed me up, Lou. I said I was going to give Lauren the final word, but now I got to go back to you for a minute because you've opened a can of worms.
Gee.
Okay. Lou, was it a mistake for Disney to put ABC News into Disney Plus? See, I told you it was worms.
Well, now that I forgot about, and you're absolutely right. That if you didn't know before, if you get that combination, you certainly know now.
That's right.
All I'm saying is, I think Lauren's absolutely right. For 99.9% of the time, we've had networks with corporate ownership, but I think the awareness is growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds. Certainly not only with ABC and Disney, but with the whole thing with Trump and Kamala and 60 Minutes and all of that. It's growing. And people are saying, well, if I don't like them because they're making what used to be family movies into political or social or sexual rants, maybe I don't want to watch their news either. Maybe I don't want to buy their sponsorship. And they certainly know that The View is. So I just think people, it's like when suddenly they made everybody put all the ingredients on the box of all the stuff we eat and all the stuff we buy. And people started actually shopping and reading it. Oh my God, there's that in there? I didn't know that. Consumerism is what this is. It's consumer awareness. And I think it's growing. I just do.
There you go. Folks, we encourage you, if you can help in any way with the tragedy in Texas, feel free to look for those charities that you trust and you believe in. Make sure to vet them. But any charity that truly gets the supplies and the goods out there to help, we encourage you to be the best you can be in that area, and we'll try to do the same. All right, folks, that's where we'll leave it right now. Hopefully Disney gets their act together. George Stephanopoulos continues to be a real spur in the side of Disney, especially as they continue to cover what's happening in Texas and beyond.
Oh, no. Lauren's going to be sad again. He's texted me last night about how bad the Odyssey's going to be. That guy needs a pick-me-up.
Ah, Lauren's feeling down in the dumps again, huh? Sounds like he's feeling forlorn. Nice setup, Floral.
Wilton, don't you have a bridge to haunt or something? Leave Lauren alone. He's not even here to deal with your nonsense.
Well, 'cause he's all alone. There's no one there beside him. I bet he's just lamenting about his boring life. He probably needs WDW Pro to give him some good news. Like that Jonas was fired.
You're a pest, you know that? Lauren's fine. He's He's probably just, like, nervous or something. He's not sulking or anything.
Sulking? Oh, actually, he's probably just lornguishing. Picture it. Lorne staring at the movie screen. Lornmenting that he has to be there. And then the film ends, and like a Christmas ornament that fell off a tree, he's shattered.
You're weird.
You know, I should troll the WDW Pro comments that Lorne's so down he's... Wait a minute. Lorne's so down, he's practically Lornescape art.
Yeah, and I'd be thrilled if you'd leave and do that. For a few hours. Actually, it'll help Pro in the algorithm by you leaving comments, or noise, or whatever, on all of Pro's videos.
Noise? I am a maestro of mirth. Lorne's my new canvas. Like a mom folding laundry. Oh, that one sucked.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go check out the next TPP article and get launched into the stratosphere of information. Nobody wants to be lonely. Everybody hurts sometimes.